Hi everyone. Today we'll learn about a term called as implicit. In civil engineering, we deal with this term in estimation and costing. So, what does implicit mean? As we know, implicit isn't a civil engineering related thing. It is commonly used in business. So, what does it mean? Implicit refers to a type of cash account maintained by a company used to pay for small incident or routine expenses. It is a fixed account balance, and the money is withdrawn for small things like payroll, travel, or petty cash, day to day things. Because of its small and fixed nature, it is easy to monitor. Thus, it is for small expenses we don't use the company's primary account. So for civil engineering, implicit is of two type, majorly permanent and temporary implicit. First is permanent implicit. Permanent implicit. What does permanent implicit mean? Permanent implicit is a standing advance of a fixed sum of money to an individual to enable him to make certain classes of disbursements which may be entrusted to his charge by the divisional or subdivisional officer. Now, here term comes disbursement. What does disbursement mean? There are two terms, disbursement and reimbursement. Both are really different. So, what does reimbursement mean? As we know, we go to shops, we go to malls, we do online shopping, we ask for refunds. That's reimbursement. That refers to the payment of refunded from the original disbursement. We did a payment to an online corporation, online shopping site, right? That's a disbursement. We did a payment to a third party. Now, what the reimbursement means is we are receiving a refund from the original payment we made. That's reimbursement. So, simply a disbursement means a payment we do to a third party. So, what does implicit mean is the advance of fixed sum of amount to an individual to make certain classes of disbursement, a small payment that can be made, which is held under the charge of divisional or subdivisional office. The amount of imprest is fixed and kept as low as possible to meet the current expenses within a month. So the amount that we keep for imprest is really low for a month, so that we can cut down the expenses as much as we can, and the amount is not exceeded more than rupees 1000 in any case without the special sanction of the government. Now, how this thing comes, right? So here we have CPWD and official memorandum that, like, see, we can see here what are the impressed, like how amount that can be paid. See, local purchase of pretty stores, stationery stores, it is 1 lakh per annum. For local purchase of drawing stationery, it 1 lakh per annum, and it was enhanced. So local purchase of power of assistant engineer A out of permanent impressed, it is 1,000 for petty payments, right? This is how the thing works. For other powers, they have different amount of money they can roll out. Not everyone can roll out the same money, right? So how does we have to fill it? So the amount of impressed, so the amount of the impressed amount is kept in a duplicate in an impressed cash amount form 2. This is how it looks. So and it have two foils. So for column number 5, this column number 5, The amount of imprisoned is entered as soon as it is received in red. Here, we enter anything that is in red, the amount we receive, right? For transaction, we use transaction table that is also used widely, and that is also done with a red ink. The reimbursement from the impressed are then entered clearly and in full detail in order to occurrence day to day in the respective columns. Each payment is supported with a voucher in proper form, which is numbered as impressed holder, voucher number, and entered in column number 2. Here, we enter voucher number and the impressed holder. The payment from the imprisoned are usually made on hand receipt. Form 28. How the payment imprisoned are made hand receipt, form number 28. How does that look? It looks like this. This is how form 28 look like. Here we have voucher number, date, the amount, the seal of the department, and who is paying it, right? The payment from the imprisoned are usually made on hand receipt, form number 28. On the back side of this, we have an abstract of charges and the name of works that is debatable in entered the column provided for, and the total vertical and horizontal should agree. The imprisoned is closed at least once in a month. The imprisoned window, it is closed once in a month. That is usually on 25th of the month. The account is balanced on 25th of the month, and one file together with the voucher number and tagged serially to the corresponding column number 2 is submitted to SDO. This column number 2, we have the voucher numbers or the divisional officer it is submitted. The counter file is retained with the imprisoned holder. A copy it is retained and a copy it is sent to SD. The voucher are checked and passed by the SDO of divisional officer, and the whole imprisoned is given a voucher number and entered in the account of divisional or subdivisional office. The amount which is entered here, a copy is sent to the SDO, and there in the account it is again mentioned there too. If necessary, the imprisoned account may be closed and submitted earlier for recoupment. The amount of interest may be increased or decreased according to the requirement with proper accounting. This is how it tails. Now we have temporary interest. Temporary advance is also known as temporary interest. It is the amount which is advanced by the disbursing officer to subordinate officer to enable him to make a number of specific payment out of muster roll or any other voucher which has already been passed for the payment. Here the payment is already passed. Just the difference is payment is already passed away, right? I should repeat it again. The temporary imprisonment is the amount which is advanced by disturbing of disbursing officer sorry disbursing officer to a subordinate officer to enable him to make a number of specific payment out of muster roll or any other voucher which has already been passed for payment. The amount of temporary advance should be closed as soon as possible, and the maximum amount of temporary advance depends upon the security of subordinate officer, that is usually up to 2500. Or the discretion of executive engineer. The temporary advanced amount is advanced for payment of past bills, while the permanent imprisoned amount is advanced for the payment of unpassed bills and when required. So the main difference between temporary and advance. Temporary and the permanent is the temporary advanced amount is advanced for payment of past bill. We have here past bills, whereas in permanent and present we do not have any past and we don't have past bills. We have unpassed bills, and they are passed when required. The account of both permanent and temporary imprisoned are kept in imprisoned cash account form 2, as you have seen this. So that's all for imprisoned. Thank you.